Hello and welcome into MFL with Laird. I am Andrew Laird, here to talk about yesterday's pack drop. I got a pack to open, the midseason transfer window, even though it's very early season for those of us in the Redemption Cup. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. Lighting is a little weird in here today because it's very, very gloomy outside. And for those of you who are members of my Patreon, you've gotten a little more of a background on what this room looks like. But I've got windows here, and sometimes they help and sometimes they don't. And today it feels like they're just not helping. And the lighting is just a little weird. And so apologies for that. But you're not here for the lighting. You're here to talk about some Metaverse Football League. And that's what we're going to do. Thanks everyone for coming in. Rude, aka In Bed with Laird. So this is a reference to the thumbnail from this video, and I have to say, like, it's an homage to my favorite GIF that I use, which is the Taylor Swift "Sorry" GIF, which I guess just didn't hit with everybody. But I'll pull it up just so we're all on the same page here. It's this GIF right here. It's a "Sorry," she's in a window. I assume it's from some music video that I've never seen before. Shout out to Taylor Swift, though, and all Swifties out there, because I do enjoy the music. But yeah, so I used that GIF, I think, in the MFL Discord yesterday because I took some blame for some things, which I wasn't really appreciative of until I was actually quite appreciative of it. But we'll see. So anyway, sorry, Toby, my squad is set for the Redemption Cup, and Scott Warren third. Congratulations to you three on the podium. Sorry, Rude AAA, Toby, and Scott Warren. Way to be, guys. Let's see. Stefan, what's up? Anyan, that's an early episode. Standard packs equal the best packs. Good luck. This is early for today. I haven't really established a routine yet for MFL content. I do know that I'm really enjoying doing it, or at least I'm enjoying playing the game. We'll see how much it is. I may have a guest soon. They actually offered to come on today, and I kind of wanted to do this one solo. The MFL stuff, because it's still very new to me, is part of doing this is kind of just the discovery phase, and so I appreciate everybody who is willing to go through that with me, instead of waiting until maybe I get more comfortable with it, or maybe I don't. Maybe this just is a train wreck every time I do it, but at least it'll be a fun train wreck. Hopefully. Sir Jujo, what's up? Mid-season transfer hype. That's right. Fraxy with this stream also crash. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Fab Miz, what's up? Laird on the MFL site will be nice extra views. Was it on the MFL site? That's cool. I like how they do that, how they're willing to kind of give exposure to other creators. I saw obviously Wendirk's on the Wendirk cast is always there, and I think I've seen Pranksy. I'm sure there are others. Those are the ones that I saw when I was up. Straight Up Crazy, what's up? Sporting Classics, thanks for coming in. SR Monkey, Toby, I just want to play more games. I know. Toby and I, Soroburo, what's up? Toby and I joined like within the last week, so all we have is the Redemption Cup, and it feels like I just want to get going. But then I'm sure when we start getting going in season 5, we'll be like, oh my gosh, I wish this was slower like the Redemption Cup. Now, granted, we've played one match and then we had this transfer window, which kind of slows everything down. But yeah, we'll see. Suroburo, I think I already brought you in, but hello. Sour Soul, what's up? Contrabass Saltita. Hey everyone, if Play MFL is here, please add Palestinian clubs and players so I can join in on the fun. I mean, you can join on the fun without that. Tizai, what's up? Sora Maxwell, my girlfriend is even watching this one with me. Thank you very much for doing that. See, it's just, it's fun for everybody. Couples sitting down to watch MFL content. You gotta love it. Tados, what's up? Simon was sick and caught up in work, but finally made it live and catching up with the episodes. All the best in your new journey. Thank you very much. And we'll subscribe in the coming weeks. Simon, thank you very much. And what Simon is talking about is this right here, joining the Patreon, which is where you can kind of find all of my content. MFL stuff is there. obviously all the So Rare stuff, but joining that community goes a long way in allowing me to do more content and probably more MFL content. And the it's developing its own community, and there's a very active MFL community in there. Obviously, it's not the biggest one. I know there are MFL Discords all over the place, and I'm not telling you to join the Patreon just for the Discord, but it is a byproduct, or it is a product, I guess, that's being offered there. And so, yeah, head over to there, patreon.com/Andrew M. Laird, and get in on the fun. Finlay said, admitting you're a Swiftie is brave in this day and age. Really? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm a Swiftie per se, but I can absolutely appreciate the immense amount of talent that Taylor Swift has. And some of her songs are bangers. I'm not going to lie. I have no, there's no bravery. There's no bravery in saying you're a Swiftie. I don't know. But yeah, Paper Rings, banger. Anyway, Toby Alexander, what's up? Oh, Pranksy, here we go. More games should do it hosting on the website. Skozer, what's up? Dobbsy, I'm in the same boat, only got the cup. Ben Johnson, hello. Will MFL ever be a proper metaverse? I have no idea, Ricardo. Although I will say that in speaking to Matt, one of the co-founders of MFL, actually, I'm pretty sure I told this story previously, and I didn't want to dox it, who it was, but I just did. But he was saying, to my concern about playing this game with fake footballers, and he was like, I don't necessarily think of it as fake footballers. They're just, real footballers in the metaverse. And I was like, man, I'm just, my head is not there in terms of the metaverse being a real thing yet. But I know that there are people who do or can appreciate just that. And maybe it's because I'm a little older. I'm 43. I'm old enough where I have to think about how old I am. And I don't know. I've gotten over it, over the fake footballer thing. And part of the hesitation came from So Rare, that those are real footballers. But if you look at how many cards I have, and if I told you some of the names, you would be like, those aren't real footballers. Those are guys from MFL. And I'd be like, no, he plays for this club that you've never heard of. And so, yeah, I got over that pretty quickly. Steve said, I'm enjoying MFL so much. Looking forward for the cup. Steve, are you did you just join? Like, are you in Redemption Cup 2? Could be. Oh, when Durkast. Let's go. Yeah, real fake players. It's just like, it's something. All right. It is. I don't know where you guys watch or listen to When Durkast. It's funny because I saw they were streaming on Twitch yesterday for this pack reveal that we'll talk about in a second. And I don't really watch any content on Twitch at all. I don't stream, or I'd streamed there on Sora Data for a little bit, but very few people ended up watching there. And I think part of it actually is weird because Twitch is kind of made for daily live streaming, obviously. And that's what I do for the most part. But I don't know, it just never caught on. And YouTube, I think, is more where people go for this type of content, but I don't know. But anyway, I saw they were there, but I think I listened to one of their episodes on Spotify, and then I was watching them on YouTube. So I will probably watch them on YouTube more often. Obviously, if the live stuff is only on Twitch, then I'll watch there. But if you are a YouTube fan, When Durkast on YouTube has not enough subscribers on that channel, but maybe it's because people are watching somewhere else. But yeah, Calvin and Jimbo are great, and they've obviously been in the game for a long time, but they're really good ambassadors of the game, and they're super positive, and they want everything to succeed, and not in any selfish way whatsoever. And I know there's lots and lots of MFL content out there. I'm trying to basically catch up on all of it. And When Durkast is one that I have been catching up on. And It's excellent. So go check that out. If you're new to MFL and you haven't, I mean, you've probably seen these guys at some point because they're in the Discord and everybody talks about them, but they're well worth being spoken for. Okay. Toby said, I used to look for players when playing Football Manager and say the Belgian national team to realize they never existed. Peters HD. I was a bit upset last night because I stayed up until 12 a.m. for the pack drop and then it got delayed. Unfortunately, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. for work, so I missed the drop later. That one was a bummer. Steve, yeah, new. Let's go. Redemption Cup 2. Love it. So yeah, the pack drop yesterday. This is all very new to me because I never even participated in Top Shot. So just the idea of a pack drop isn't something I had experience with. The only thing that I learned about the pack drop before it happened is that the packs will go very quickly. And so that's the only expectation I had. And I learned this from people who have participated in the previous pack drops. And the big difference between then and now, or yesterday, is there were many more people on the platform last night than there have been for the other pack drops. And we can see that from the numbers, even in the Redemption Cup. Excuse me. I think Jimbo was mentioning it on the Wendercast that I watched the other day with Taggart, talking about the growth of MFL. And they were saying there was like 200 something clubs in the Redemption Cup this year that I'm in, the one that I'm in, and they had to even open another one. And I believe the stat was that was more than the others combined, like all of the previous ones combined. And it's not like MFL has been around for 100 years, so let's not make it that dramatic. But we are going into season 5. We're not going into season 50. So, but I believe the past ones were like in the 30s. And this one was obviously with the two cups combined, it's 10 times more. Obviously, 30s to now, I think it's two. I mean, I guess we could probably just look on the website. So the new Redemption Cup, the second one has 107 teams in it. Sorry, that's not that big. Closes in 6 hours. So if you're watching this live and you're like, oh, what's that? Boy, do you have a lot of work to do. And then the Redemption Cup I'm in, 347. So it probably is 10x what the other big Redemption Cups were. I don't know if I can go back and look. I'm not going to, but it's really exciting. And so when you have a pack drop and you have all of these people who recently joined, who are being told you got to be there right away because they're going to sell out. And so I was at home yesterday. It was the drop was scheduled for 5:00 p.m. my time, and which is quite convenient for me. And I was actually a bit curious why they do it so late at night for Europeans. And maybe it's just because I'm used to playing So Rare, where it seems like everything or everything revolves around the European clock, which is fine. It's a Parisian company, although so is MFL. And so the timing was a little weird to me, but also whatever, like if it's 5:00 p.m. my time, it's 5:00 p.m. my time. But some real life stuff was happening around then. My son, who I've mentioned on the stream, plays football. He's 14. And I had to bring him to a referee training course that he has to take because he wants to start refereeing matches. So I had to leave around 5:15 to bring him to this refereeing place because it was 30 minutes away. Started at 6:00 my time. And so at 5:00, at 4:55, I'm at my computer doing it, what everyone else does, kind of checking everything, refreshing just to make sure. And 5:00 hits and I refresh and I click the button to buy my standard pack and it says verifying. And then the whole thing just goes down. And I was like, oh man, I'm going to miss out. And I do what everybody else did. I'm refreshing. And I refreshed like 3 times. And then I was like, maybe I'll check Discord. And I had Discord open and everybody was like saying the same thing, my experience as well. It's down, it's down. And it was quite funny was not the word, because I know it's that experience is super frustrating for a lot of people, but I happen to look at it as this is great because it means there are that many people who are so interested in these packs. It was a combination of older users who wanted new packs and people who had just signed up. And Matt was in Discord, kind of giving everybody the updates while Yax was like banging on his keyboard to like get everything fixed. And it did seem like there were some people in the obviously who were expressing their discontent with what happened. But I will say that the response in Discord was was quite positive, at least in the respect of, we trust that they will figure this out. Obviously, there were so many more people who were interested in these packs than ever before, and the traffic was just kind of overwhelmed their servers. Which, the way that I looked at it was, clearly this is a very passionate community that wants more. And I will say that um, the way that they handled it I thought was really great. They obviously were trying to work to fix the issue as early as as quickly as possible. They told everyone there was going to be a 15-minute window, or excuse me, a 15-minute warning of when the drop would happen, because it seemed like they were very committed to having the drop happen yesterday. And so I got in the car around 5:15 my time, and my ETA was 5:47. And on the way, so I left at 5:15 thinking, all right, I got to go. At some point, there's going to be a 15-minute warning. Hopefully, I had to drive basically 30 minutes. I think it was 30, 35 minutes was around what it was going to be. And so I sent a message to my own Discord, because there are people who are kind of tracking everything. And I said, if you guys could just let me know when they make the announcement. And the announcement came that they were going to release the packs at 5:50, which was 50 minutes, 50, after they were supposed to do it. But that was actually quite fast. And I think that was almost like a 30-minute warning, not 15. So I saw the message, or I had my son read my Discord message, or that it was 5:50. And I look up at my GPS, and our estimated arrival time was 5:47. And I was like, man, we're going to nail this. However, I was going to be in a parking lot. I brought my laptop with me because I didn't want to do it on my phone, but I was going to have to essentially hotspot my phone. And I was like, maybe that's going to be too slow to like get a pack. And then right at 5:50, it released. I updated. I was able to get a pack. And then I got a standard pack. And then I went back to get a limited pack. Is that what they were? Yeah, I got a standard. I went back to get a limited, and it said 23 left, and I clicked buy, and it said sold out. And I was more surprised that there were still some there. But it obviously was not the ideal experience for new users, but I was encouraged by the number of new users who kind of just realized what happened, that there were so many of us who were going at the same time, and it kind of knocked them off. And it kind of reminded everybody, yeah, this is still a very new company, and this extreme growth in users recently is good in the respect of there are more people playing, and it's more fun, but also now there are more people playing, and so there are more people who are trying to get to the site, and that's something that they have to do. But I forget who the user was who sent it out, but as I'm reading the MFL Discord, and it just said, I blame Nep and Laird. And obviously Nepenthes and I are recent. I'm much more recent than he is. But the excitement that he had, which got me to play, and my early excitement of how much I'm enjoying this game, people are signing up to play, and the game's just very different now. I think everybody who's been playing previously, like everything is going to be very different now because there are many, many, many more people playing. And I'm not taking credit for bringing all these people on. It's not like I have brought thousands of people to this platform, but the um, there are more people playing, and they want to play. And I know that the people that are coming from So Rare are people who can be very invested in a game. And I'm not saying invested like this is an monetary investment, but they are going to spend the time and yes, the resources to be competitive. And so it should be exciting for everybody. And yes, the pack drop was not, wasn't delivered flawlessly yesterday, and it's going to happen. Like that used to happen on So Rare all the time. That like the marketplace would just stop, like you couldn't do it. Like there were times where you would hope, you'd put a bid in for a card, and you would hope that the site crashed because it happened enough that sometimes it crashed, and then you got like a really cheap card. One of my So Rare NBA cards did that too. And I'm not saying that this is that the site crashing is like a good thing, but you have to appreciate that that certainly MFL is a fairly new company that is not used to having. I have no idea how many users there are now, but this, when you are new to a site like this or a new game or a new whatever, there are going to be some growing pains. It's literally the phrase, and we're part of that growth. And so, let's just appreciate that. What we really should be appreciating is just how quickly they addressed the issue and fixed it. And while there were some people who kind of missed out on the drop because of that, it's obviously a very unfortunate situation for them. But let's really appreciate, because they could have just said, all right, like we just won't do the drop today and we'll figure it out whenever. Or they kind of drop it so some people get it and not. Like I think they handled it really, really well, which is really encouraging for somebody who's new to the platform. You say, wow, these guys are like super passionate about this and really want to deliver the best experience possible for their users. And in light of everything, of the fact that the site crashed, because there's so many of us that are really excited about this. I think Yax and Matt handled it really well. And I'm sorry for those who were unable to get a pack. Maybe I'll talk to them. Maybe we could give away some packs. I don't know how that stuff works. It seems like everybody's giving away packs these days, and I don't have anything to give away, but maybe we'll get there. Maybe we'll get big enough and we'll get there. But anyway, sorry that I like went on something there and started ignoring the chat. I'm really tempted by the idea of having a national team on MFL. I thought about that too. To be honest, like between us, I was like, I bet if you had a full team of French players, it would be a lot better than everything else because they're French, which is such a silly thing to think, but I haven't ruled it out. I'm not French, but anyway. Ben said, are you finding it more fun being part of the MFL community versus So Rare due to the positive community sentiment? I think both communities, like I tend not to spend much energy in the part of the So Rare community that's negative. I try to be, I'm a generally positive person myself, and I prefer to feel positive about things than negative. And that's not to say I won't criticize things and whatnot, but the MFL community is overwhelmingly positive and helpful, but there are plenty of people in the So Rare community who are like that. I think one of the issues, like the So Rare community is obviously much, much bigger. And so the more people you have, the more you're going to have very helpful people who are extremely good at the game. And you're going to have people who are not so helpful and not very good at the game, and just based on the number. And it's just a matter of how loud those people tend to be. But the MFL community is, from my experience so far, overwhelmingly positive. And I will say that one of my initial hesitations about going into the MFL Discord was the So Rare Discord. Like I haven't been in the So Rare main Discord in, I don't remember the last time I went in there. And I don't remember the last time why I went in, probably because somebody tagged me and I was like, oh, okay. But one of the issues with being a new user coming into a game that has an existing community and on Discord is the constant conversation. You're just not part of it because you don't really know what they're talking about and all this stuff. But I will say that the 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 community is super helpful in terms of if you have a question, you can like write your question and somebody will reply to you like very quickly. And so you don't get lost. Like I felt like in bigger discords, it's like, you send the question, but like 18 people are sending questions, and then it just gets all very uh, very jumbled up. But the yeah, everybody's very helpful. And obviously the more you learn, the more you understand it yourself. And I think I mentioned this on my last stream, but I just stole this from Jimbo, but he was saying it's fun for him because he's obviously been here for a while. It's funny to see people who joined today getting answers from people who joined 5 days ago. But that's what it is. And the positivity almost and the helpfulness almost snowballs in, if you're new and you ask a question and somebody responds to you quickly with a thought out response that's helpful and kind, then when somebody asks a question and you happen to know the answer, you're going to respond in the same way. And so yeah, it's just I don't want to like compare the two communities because they're very different platforms at this point. But yeah, the MFL community, that I see mostly on Discord, is extremely helpful. Yeah. Michael Pallet, what's up? Not keen on MFL as the overall game to start up is far too expensive. I think it's comparable to any sort of video game these days. That price wise, that's how I was looking at it. My son mostly plays sports games, so he plays FIFA or FC 24 and Madden, and the new MLB The Show is out. And he was like, "Yeah, it's $75." And I'm like, "Oh, that's a lot of money." And he's at the age now where he has his own money, and he's like, "I don't know if I want to spend that much money on a video game." And so you have the whole conversation because we got to teach our kids these things. And we were talking about an MFL because I talked to him about MFL. And so he was asking how much. Actually, he was part of a conversation I was having with my wife about MFL because she's like, "What the hell is this?" And I was explaining it's like $80 to play. And she's like, $80 just to play this game? And I was like, yeah, but you can play forever. Like you could pay $80 and never pay again. And there's a way that you can do that. You're very competitive in the game. There's almost it's not a challenge, but there is a way that you can play the game and see how good you can go without without spending a dollar. Like, there are lots of different strategies, and that's not any sort of unique one that I came up with. But you can pay $80 and play this game forever, and you can fill a whole roster of players with loan players, and yeah, you don't really have to pay more. So if you want to look at it like the cost to start up is fine, but if you're going to look at the cost of starting up, you have to look at the cost of maintaining whatever you're doing, and if that cost is zero, the $80 doesn't seem so bad to me. But again, like some people don't want to spend $80 on a game, and I totally get that. But the fact that you can do that you can spend $80 to start and not have to pay again, I think is a really attractive part of that for MFL. And obviously, you're at a disadvantage if you don't want to put any more money in. But you're pretty much just at a disadvantage in terms of how much you can win. Sorry, mug is moving here. Like you can actually have very competitive teams without putting more money in. You're just not going to win as much because you sacrifice some of your winnings for those players. But man, you could have a ton of fun. Straight Up Crazy said, "I'm just glad I was able to get at least one limited pack." Yeah, getting a pack feels like a win. Dobbsy said, "The stream with Nep and you got me in also due to the summer cycle of Sorare upcoming." So it's funny you say that. I was going to dive into Sorare MLB, but instead I'm scouting MFL players. I mean, whatever makes you happy, man. It's those are two very different games. Literally, one's a fantasy baseball, but frankly, my biggest problem is trying to figure out the time that I have for all of these things because I want to play them all. And the more time you play one, the less time you can play the other. And so I need a few more hours in the day. Toby said, "I've never seen a game site go down at the game's biggest moment and everyone was still happy with everything." I don't know if everybody was still happy, but most people were. Yeah. Ryan said their communication was quite good as well. Dobsy said FIFA is one of the biggest companies in the world. Well, EA, and every year at team of the year, their main event, the servers go down for ages. I bet, yeah. Blame Hoodwink, SR Monkey, Hoodwink again, and Kev Hurd on the positivity. Bunch of. I mean, I think it's fine. I prefer to be more positive than negative. It's just an easier way to live, man. It's as simple as that. Skozer said, I would 100% recommend joining Laird's Patreon. Let's go. If you are new or old, a lot of us new guys getting help from the more experienced ones. Yeah. I'm not working for Laird Industries. Massive Erickson said, when Laird ramble, excuse me. They're discussions. They're discussions. Jeff said, if you saw the new watch list on MFL, it works very well and you can track players you want to follow. I saw that they announced that today and I haven't used it yet, mostly because I still, not that I don't know what I'm doing, but I actually could have used it like 2 days ago. But we'll see. Toby said, Laird Jr. sounds like he's got his head screwed on. Must get it from Mrs. Laird. Yeah, probably. Hey, Eagle FN, what's up? Nintendo Switch 2 games going to be $90. Yeah, I mean, it's all what, how you want to spend it. Rob said it's potentially a one and done cost. You could buy a club and then just loan in the players. Yep. It's also going to last you a lot longer than one season of FIFA. Maybe. I don't play FIFA. Erickson said the difference between the video game and MFL is also that you could take your money back out. Yeah, that's true. And Rob said you could probably resell the club for what you paid as well. I don't know if that's true. I mean, you have the opportunity to, sure, if somebody wants to pay for it. And I think, like, can't you sell coins in FIFA or something like that? Like, I don't want to say there's no way to make money, but you can make money on MFL, and I'm sure there are people who have made plenty. I'm just not here to try to do that. And I know that sounds weird. Maybe it doesn't sound weird. I genuinely look at this as a game to be played. Yeah, period. Full stop. And I know that there are benefits to spending more money after you buy your club. I bought some starter pack. I like, full disclosure, MFL gave me a club. Like, the club I run, my only club that I run right now, Empire FC, they gave that to me. And I think part of it was because, it's to get me to play. And because, they knew I had an audience that might be interested in the game. And I think based on the people, I pointed down to my other computer because it happened to has my referrals down there. But the number of people that have come in, it probably was a decent cost for them in terms of the cost of giving me a club. Where was I going with that? Oh, so I am committed to buying more clubs, or buying a club, probably 2, and developing there. I was going to buy a club at first, and they said they would give me a club, and I was like, that's fine, but I'm going to buy another club. So I got all these players, I got to put them somewhere. And then as soon as I started working on my first club, it was like, oh man, I'm not ready at all for a second club. And I see Nep, who's been playing, I don't know if he's 2 seasons in or not, but he's got 5 clubs now. And I watch his videos and I'm like, that's a lot more than I can handle right now. But it is something that I know that in the future, if I want to, expand how I play this game, it's going to cost some money, and I don't have to do it. And I'm not looking at getting another club so that I can develop players and sell them. Like, I have players that I pulled from packs that I probably could sell that would be enough for another club or other players, and I just haven't done it. And I haven't done it because that's just not why I'm here. I'm not here as an investment. There's no ROI thought of me. I'm not going to do videos of like, this is how much money I made on MFL. Like, I just don't. It's not why I'm here. I'm here because it's a really fun game, and sometimes you just want to play a fun game. Sometimes you can do things that costs money, that costs money, and you may not make money from it. And again, you can make money from MFL, but I don't think a majority of the people are here for that reason. And I don't think that's a reason to join. Like, if you're looking to make money to play a game and like make a ton of money, I'm sure you could probably grind out the secondary market or buy some packs, sell the packs. Like, you can do it. It's just not why I'm here. And so I probably will not do a ton of content of like how much money you can make. I'm not going to rule it out. Maybe I'll have somebody on and talk to them about how they make so much money on this, but that's not why I joined. There was no part, and I basically joined because of all of Nepentez's videos. And at no point during his videos did he talk about how much money he made. And there was never a point where I watched and I was like, man, I could make a lot of money doing this. I bet I'm really good at that game. And if I buy and sell and flip, and because similar to So Rare, I'd probably just put it right back in the game anyway. So maybe I'll start selling players when I see others that I want to buy. But to be honest, I'll probably just deposit money and buy those players. Like, I bought a pack yesterday that I'll open in a little bit. And I didn't do that. Like, I could have sold other players that I had to fund that pack. But I don't know. I just want to be clear on that. I've been playing MFL for, I don't even know if it's been a week. Maybe it's been a week. I don't know. But that's how I'm looking at it. And yeah, that's it. Sorry. Storch859, what's up? Hey, Laird, great to catch you live. I believe Storch is a Patreon member. MFL is Football Manager and So Rare light in terms of the investment with less fruit references so far. Yeah, I mean, we shouldn't. So when I was thinking about how many clubs I'm going to have, and I was like, do I just continue? So sorry, I keep cutting myself off. For those of you who don't know me at all from So Rare, in So Rare, you can name your lineups and you can like track them where they are in your competitions and whatnot. And I named all of mine after fruit. So I have like a strawberry lineup, cherry, watermelon, whatever. And one of the problems that I have with So Rare is I have so many lineups that I'm running out of fruits. And so I'm naming them fruits that I just didn't know existed. I'm literally like Googling like names of fruit, or give me a list of 100 fruits. And I have to start figuring it out. And in fact, I think I have a few unnamed ones that I have to go back to. But I thought about carrying that over into MFL and just being like, oh, these are going to be all of my, this will be FC strawberry and watermelon FC and stuff like that. And then my very first club, I didn't do it. So I haven't ruled it out, but we'll see. Rob said, shouldn't we be playing these games as a fun aspect and not searching for that ROI, thinking they're investments? I wouldn't say we should or shouldn't. I'm not here to tell anybody how to spend their money and their time. I'm just saying like how I've gone about it. And I think a lot of the negative feelings from So Rare players generally come from not that they are over exposed to So Rare, but they just don't like where their money ended up. And part of that is that like if they didn't have good success in the game, anybody's going to be upset about that. But the constant reminders about how much you spent and that you have to make it back can be overwhelming to some people. And I don't feel that way on So Rare, but I know that there are people who do. And so coming to another game with that same feeling is only adding more to your shoulders. And I think if you come to MFL with the first thought of how much can I make, I just don't think it's going to end up being the healthiest relationship with the game. And which is unfortunate because the game is super fun and engaging. And to start off with kind of a negative sentiment is just not setting you up for having fun. And like the fun part is why I'm here. Toby said, I already know I'm going to want another club, preferably for season 5 already. Yeah, I thought about for season 5, but man. Toby and I just joined, so we're just going through the Redemption Cup right now. I feel like the responsible thing to do would be to get through an entire season meaning season 5 with our clubs and see what happens. I mean, I'm not going to tell Toby what to do, but I don't know. We'll see. Everybody's different. Ben said it may not be an ROI thing, but if you can turn one great player into the funds for two good players, that's a good play. It might be. I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. Massive Erickson said, I've put in $639 and now I have an agency worth over $1,000. Been able to give away 100 back in packs and players to the Sorare Ramble community and also created a community team to give back more. So that's awesome. One thing I will say about this, there has not been a single moment where I thought, how much is my agency worth? I don't even, how do you even figure that out? I don't even care. I just, it's, I mean, maybe it's a good barometer of like how well you're doing as a manager or as an agency owner. I don't know. I don't know. For me, I wanted to be zero cost club, but man, I'm just loving the community so much it sucked me into being even more involved. Yeah, I mean, getting sucked in sounds negative. You just want to participate with more people that um that are enjoying this thing that you're enjoying as well. Eagle said, "Hey, it does feel like early days so rare when people weren't as concerned with ROI and were just having fun." So I'm gonna hard disagree on that. That the early days of so rare, people were having fun because they were buying JPEGs for $20 and selling them for 200 days later. That was the fun part. William said, normally they have a club special at the beginning of the season where you get a player pack with it. So it's funny. The I heard that, and I had mentioned that on a previous show once that the companies that tend to always have promos, I won't buy anything from at full price. Like I'll only wait for the promos. And uh, so my thought was, I'll just wait to get a club when they do one of these promos where you get a pack with it. And then I was like the Cookie Monster gif where I was just like sitting here like this, like hitting the desk. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to wait. And maybe I'll get a club when that happens, but I don't know. It's and Matt actually called me out on that once about wait, he because I think I actually asked him, like, do you guys run promos? And he's like, yes, but and we know that there are people who will wait for promos or something like that. Like, whatever. But we'll see. Rob said early So Rare was so ROI focused. So it's funny about that, Rob, is that So Rare never really encouraged that. That was all from the users. MFL Assistant, you can see in a snapshot of agency worth and loads of stuff. I'll be honest, I haven't even touched MFL Assistant yet. I went on it yesterday and I was like, I wasn't overwhelmed, but I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Really, what I was trying to do yesterday was using MFL Player to check out which of my players maybe at better positions because I was trying to fill my squad. I was trying to improve my squad over this break or for the transfer window for the rest of the cup. And what was actually really funny yesterday, was it yesterday? Did the window open yesterday? Yeah. So there was a player that I had scouted or that I saw in the scouting center. And I don't want to say I scouted. I went to the scouting center and I was like, "Oh, that's what I need." And I sent an offer for the card. I think I can't remember if it was a right back or a left back. And it got rejected. And then I noticed that it was signed with a club and the club owner signed the player to his own club. And then I realized we were in the same Redemption Cup group. So he would have been selling to like another team in his Redemption Cup group. And I think he was just like, all right, I'll keep this card. And so, yeah. Toby said, did you add 3 players yet, or you still have room to add? I added 3 players. My first match, which I won, I played 3 at the back because I don't have a right back and I don't have a left back, or I have one. Let's see, who do I have? I had a right back, but I never played him. Oh, that's me right there. Who was it? So I had this. Nope, that's not him. Duarte, this guy, Juan Duarte, 48 rated, right back that can also play left back, but he was my only fullback. And so I played three in the back, and I was just like, I just don't really like this. And then the pack that I opened the other day, I got this guy, Vinko Samardzic, and I was like, oh, he's a good center back. And I was like, but I don't really need another center back. And so I ended up signing this guy on loan, Gilson Verhagen. And then I got Jiwon Yu also on loan. And Samardzic was so much better than my other center backs. And so I was like, oh, I'll just play four in the back from now on. And so those are the three cards that I added over the break. I assume I can't add another one because Samardzic was from my own agency, but you and Verhagen are on loan. So I don't know, to be honest. Is there an SD for MFL? I think MFL assistant and MFL player are the ones that I would use the most. If anybody else has any others, I don't really know. Like because I'm not buying and selling. Well, I might be buying because I'm not selling cards. I generally don't. Not that I don't care what my cards are similar ones are worth, but I think those are them. Obi said you can add three regardless of who owns them. Yeah, or only cat. So those are the three I added. And actually, while we're here, I just realized I haven't checked my daily progression. See if we got any yesterday. I will say that. Let me see if I can move myself here. Does that work? We'll go here for now. Actually, can I make this bigger? Let me try this. Yeah, that seems much more fun. Anyway, so one of the issues that I was having with some of my players, and it was actually my top player on this team, at least, Gerard Hendricks, was not having the best training experience. He's the best player on the team, and I have this issue. Training is a decent level, but his teammates aren't pushing him enough to maximize his potential, which is what happens when you're literally the top-rated guy on the team. And so I was actually looking at some of the players that I had out on loan, and I haven't done this before, but it was like, are they getting good training at this point? And some of them were like, I felt like a lot of them I read whatever the thing said, like optimal training or whatever it was. I'll pull one up, but my own players are struggling a little bit. But Hendricks, I think, it'll at least helps that I added, two other 60 plus rated players. But anyway, let's see if we got any progression over the last 48 hours or 24 hours, which nothing, man, just not training hard enough, guys. So yeah, overall, oh yeah, of course, this is the player I just brought in on loan. So none of that progression was actually mine. That is a ridiculous amount of progression. Huh. Oh, I guess that's all time. I don't want all time. Sorry. There we go. Current season. So you is progressing. Again, this is a player I just got. Shout out to Timo here, who gave me both players that I needed. But yeah, I thought I had one that had gained a. Actually thought I had somebody who had a +1 overall. Oh wait, this is it. So yeah, sorry. This is just my team. I needed. So that's the problem. Nobody is actually progressing on my own team, but the ones that I'm loaning out are progressing. So here we go. This is what I meant to show. So let's see if anyone else from the last 24 hours gained a full point. Here we go. So this guy, Didier Marshall, 47 rated center back that I sent over to the Reykjavik Raiders, who I believe is in my Discord. Yeah, they're in my Discord. Got a +1 on dribbling, which, for a center back is probably not the most important thing, but, more is better. And then let's see. Oh, where did that go? Here we go. And then Ilnaz Fomenko, gained one physical, and I actually think Fomenko has gained a couple. Yeah. So Fomenko has already gotten a +1, going from 44 to 45. Look at that. Just the direction we want to go. +1 in dribbling, +1 in defending, and +1 in physical, but obviously doesn't play for my squad. For my team, plays for FC Lavawa, Lavawa, who I don't think even, oh, they are in the Redemption Cup. They weren't for a while, but I sent them a bunch of players, just lesson learned when I was like, oh, yeah, I need to loan these players out. And, you know, Fomenko, I assume, is going to, have, yeah, thriving in training, benefiting from the perfect environment for his progression. So a lot of the guys that I loaned out kind of have that, which is really encouraging. But, I'd like to see some guys at Empire FC start to pick it up, but maybe we'll see that when we start playing a little more. So as a fresh guy in the door, can I ask one thing you are hyped about and one thing you don't like about the game? So it's really funny that I'm glad you asked that. The I talked to somebody yesterday who asked me the same thing, and there is not one thing I'm hyped about because I'm hyped about the whole thing. Every single thing I do on the site just feels like this is a really great game, and I want to just like keep playing it. The progression stuff is really cool. Maybe the fact that I've never lost a match in my history of being on the platform is really encouraging. And so I just really like all of it. And I don't think there is one thing I don't like about the game. And part of that is probably because I just haven't played enough yet. And so there are probably things that older users are like, oh, I still can't believe they don't do this or whatever. And I just haven't gotten there yet. And which is really nice and fun, because why not be a little more positive about that? But yeah, I think it's great. Genuinely. Like I'm sure I will find something at one point where I'm like, I really wish it wasn't like this, but I'm not there yet. Javier, how have SoRare not got managers playing against other managers like the old SoRare data days in a cup like comp? Are they not totally missing something? I mean, they might do it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Facing off against other managers is such a buzz. I can totally understand how enjoyable that must be in MFL, amongst other things. They used to do that, right? Didn't they have like rivals cup, or yeah, rivals, like groups that you could play against each other? That's not there anymore. Joe said, I will love to see when MFL adds morale to players, and FM morale and happiness are the most important elements of the game. Some call it morale manager, and I agree. Yeah, it's all good. SR Monkey said, because there's only training XP during the window progression. Oh, because there's only training XP during the window, progression will be slower for a couple of days. That makes sense. And I agree, the loan system is brilliant. That's me that has your CB dropped. No, please, no. Josh XLs, what's up? Josh, I thought I saw you in the Discord at like 10 p.m. my time, which I thought was like 4 a.m. yours, but maybe not. On a massive catch up, so I'm a little behind, but I do think you're having the perfect introduction time. The market is incredibly slow and tough right now, mid-season. In the off-season, it's carnage. I can't wait. Obi said, a great thing is that the team takes critiques from users and will tweak things. Yeah, um, it totally feels small in that respect. Like there used to be a time on SoRare where like Nicola Julia, who's the founder, would be in Discord like responding to people. The company's way too big for that now, but it does feel like the feedback is taken seriously, and it's not like they're every suggestion that comes in they're like, oh yeah, let's do that. That's not the plan, but it is nice that it's a nice feeling recognized when you have a critique or some sort of feedback for them. This coffee's officially like lukewarm, and it's just not enjoyable at all. Should we open a pack? Should we open the pack that I got? My expectation is that this pack will be filled with players that I will not have on my team, which is a weird feeling, because I hope that they're absolute bangers and that I can loan them out. now that the window is getting close to closing. But yeah, let's see. That's funny. Fragiaco said slow market. It's the mid season and the market is already going crazy. Uh, I think that I think that's going to happen. Like I think for everybody who has been on the platform for a while, it's never going to feel the same again. And that sounds extremely um I was going to say arrogant because I'm getting blamed for people joining and it's not that at all, but there is a very different feeling when you have 3,000 users versus 10,000 users versus 30,000 users and we're not there yet. But look at me calling it we. But it yeah, Ryan said 10% growth in a week is wild. Ryan, I'm not sure it's 10% growth. I think it's 10x growth. Maybe not in a week, but recently. And it's exciting. It's exciting. Anyway, let's rip. So I bought this standard pack yesterday. Didn't crash my car. Didn't even have to pull over. It's funny because like this transaction can take a long time to execute, and it's really not that long as we wait. Here we go. All right, we got 3 cards. I have opened a bunch of packs. Haven't opened a ton of packs with 3 cards, but I've never opened the middle one first, so I'm going to do that. And there's already a giveaway of what it is. Wow, Engelbert Engelhart, a cam from Germany. Give me a good rating here. 65. All right, an excellent beard, well groomed. Let's see, 22 years old, 5'10 cam, 68 pace, 52 shooting, 67 passing, 71 dribbling, 55 defending, and 47 physical. I think that's a really good card. What's funny is that, and man, I probably would have kept that card. 65 is definitely a card that I would have signed for my own agency. And it I don't have a cam. I have a guy who can play cam, but I was going through all the formations yesterday, and it's like, man, I don't have a cam. And so Engelbert Engelhart um, will probably be in my team next year or next season. Ryan said 3,300 total teams, 300 are new this week. Wow. Yeah, this is a great name, right? No man bun. Yeah, but it's like got a really nice like tight line on it. Would kill for that much hair these days. Um, yeah. Well, I was still on a oh, this was Josh on adrenaline coming down at 3 a.m. from the Cocow game when I didn't see I actually didn't get wasn't able to watch that one because I was gone. Engelbert is a tier 0 name. Let's go. Bit mid, but age on his side, so pray he's one of the plus 16 pretenders. I mean, he's not that bad. Yeah, season 5 star for Empire FC. That's right. He gives me Portugal's Abel Xavier vibes. Maybe. Yeah, decent age. 22 is not bad. Anyway, yeah, let's open another one before I lose my screen here. There we go. We'll go left. Alrighty. Zoltan Smelmak, left back, which I could have used yesterday, 63. So this is the biggest problem. Like man, I really shouldn't have done this. This is 20-year-old left back. Let's go. 76 pace, 25 shooting, 59 passing, 63 dribbling, 60 defending, and 69 physical. So, oh man, that is frustrating. Frustrating because I just can't help myself. I literally needed going into the window. I needed a right back, a left back, and probably a center back, but I could have used a cam also. And I literally have pulled a cam and a left back that I would have used in my team. Um, Super cheap learning experience, at least. Yeah. And I also loaned out a guy yesterday to an iron club, and somebody reached out to me and they were like, that should have been in bronze. Absolutely. And I was like, oh, okay. But Yeah, this is starting to get me very excited for next season because these two would be, two of my better players. So yeah, let's open the last one here. Legendary. Ooh, Pierce Flynn. All right, Irish striker. Give me something here. 60 rated. Not bad. Actually, the last thing I need is more strikers. I literally think I have 5 or 6 strikers in my club. 20 years old though. All right. All right. 85 pace. Woo. 66 shooting, 39 passing, 49 dribbling, 24 defending, and 54 physical. So that's what I got for 50 bucks yesterday. I have no idea what these players are worth. Um, what are the percentages? Can I find that? On, let's see, the standard pack. So I pretty much got everything that I should have gotten, right? I guess I got, what did I get? 2 limiteds? Am I reading that right? That I basically, from this pack, I got 2 limiteds and an uncommon, which doesn't seem that bad. That was decent enough. Yeah. Yeah, it's like not bad. It's funny though, because everyone's like, "That's a nice upgrade," but I can't register them for the cup. Would have been shocking after that 65, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. I literally just I opened the best card first. Another W overall for a decent pack, not got the value back, I think, but it's not about that. That's right. I don't really care about that part. Like, that's super helpful for my team, and I think I gotta turn this off. I keep hearing the music, sorry. Because, like, right now, let's see. Like, my 4 this is what, like, this is the problem I have with MFL, and this is not an MFL problem, but as you can see, the 4 best players in my agency don't play for me. And so that part is disappointing. Um, I mean, it is what it is, but, like, so I have Hendricks and this guy, like, would have fit in perfectly. In fact, essentially yeah, so the cards that I've added just from, so I got Samardzic in a pack, or was that a referral pack? Yeah. Engelhart, man, I blew it. Because, like, the other guy that I signed yesterday to play right back, I don't even remember who it was. Oh, right. So wait a minute. What the hell did I get? I thought I signed a right back. I just signed Duarte? No, Duarte was already on my team. That guy can play left back. I'm very confused now who I was using at right back. That's kind of funny. Yeah, Quinny hit me up. He did. I couldn't say no. Zoltan and Engelhart paid the pack of the cost. Paid the cost of the pack. Yeah, that guy's club name really is Alcox. Got a great logo too. They're actually doing very well too. I believe they're first in their league. That was the selling point. They were first in their league and are doing really well in the cup. And so MFL wise, what I think I got 5%. Yeah, that's my player. And he should play. I'm guessing he gets more cup games, but, like, he's in this range. There's 79. Oh yeah, he should definitely play. But yeah, I was too antsy in getting players in that, obviously I opened that pack and I could have just registered my own guys. Instead, I'm giving up a percentage of my MFL now. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, I'm keeping most of it. Only 3% I'm giving away, but 2% here for this U, and then 1%, and both to Timo. GG's. So, season 5, I'll feel better about it. But trying to think of who the hell I played at right back. Over Hagen, the guy that I loaned. That's what it was. So he's, I think he was 54. He's a 55 rated, but I think he's 54 um, as a right back. Shout out to Nep. Shout out to Nep here with the Cornelius. 93892. And for those wondering this, this is MFLplayer.info. And so, he's a 54 rated right back, which isn't so bad. Did I have 54 rated right back? Let's see. Did I have anyone else? Why doesn't he show up? Oh, yeah. And Porter, I thought was too good. So we'll be fine. SR Monkey said, if you loan out the players you packed, you can make more MFL than you're giving away loaning in those players. That's a good point. Very good point. Josh said, to be fair, if you can get first, it's the same as loaning to a mid-table side in the league above. Yeah. What I like the most about MFL is finding a nickname for your players. Can do this all day long for random players and random teams. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I already used my 3 window spots, Monkey. That's why. Yeah. So those 3 players that I just got are available for loan. I'll change it on the site soon, but I'm probably doing something. Actually, I guess I can't show my my new cam in this because they're not on my team right now. But for next season, you and Verhagen are gone because those are the 2 that I loaned, and then this guy is my favorite, Javier Pachon, who I just feel like he's getting close to, that gut feeling that he's going to get a positive progression point soon. But he says training well, but could advance slightly faster with stronger competition from better teammates. And then I added Samardzic and Samardzic here, and now you and Pachon is now here. This Canberry red card is such a killer. And then Verhagen as a 55 is not bad. So that's basically what I have. This is what I have for the remainder of the Redemption Cup. And this Kieran MFC, this is the team that I was trying to get a player from. I'm trying to think of who was it that I was trying to get. Was it Meister maybe? I don't think so. But it might have been because I was basically looking for, it was this guy, Eddie Mertens, left back who also plays right mid and left mid, 66 rated. And I was like, this guy would fit perfectly. And they had it available. I think he's a new player. Oh, no, he's been around for a bit. Some decent progression from 61 to 66. And wait a minute. How are they? Oh, I guess they got it from previous. I was like, how are they in the Redemption Cup? But yeah, so they basically got all of their players on loan. Probably 32% will go to agents. I assuming this guy owns multiple clubs. Huh. Just one. Did he buy Mertens? That's probably what it was. This is what happens when you look at, he bought it. Okay, that makes sense. So this is how you make money on MFL right here. This card was with Apollo Sports Group, sold to Michen for $14 on March 27th, and like 5 days later, sold for $25. Simple as that. That's how you get it. I just want to know how hard Yider's hair is. That is immense volume. It's like he's wearing a hair helmet. You're not wrong. Yeah. It's very high because it's like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air type volume there. Do you think the 5'8" stops here, or is the 5'8" here? Because I can't really afford to get any smaller, and so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But this is new this year, and he's already 24. enough stress, and that helmet won't be as big soon. Ooh, it's because of his high football IQ. I like that. I like that. Pacino. I might start calling him that. You have a really nice core around 65 for season 5. Yeah, that's my I don't know what I'll do for season 5 yet. Like if I'm going to buy more players or like ultimately the next big decision I'm going to come to is, do I want to really improve my squad to try to get out of Spark, like season 5? Obviously we all want to get promoted, but how much do I want to essentially overbuy to ensure that my team is the best in my league and get promoted? Or do I use those funds for another club? Rob said, "Bit late. Did you manage to get some packs last night? I got a rare from a $15 pack. Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I opened the pack earlier. I got 3 cards. The highest one was 65 though. 5861 on a good hair day. Yeah, Bell hair. I see what you're doing there. Harry trades. Trust the process. What's up? Oh, Jonathan A. We're doxing you a little bit. Thanks for coming. Trust the process. I've learned is one of the bigger accounts on MFL. They have roughly 14,000 players under management and 700 clubs. Palmer, based on the current MP, I'd imagine lowing players will be very hard and cost a lot of revenue. I will say, SR Monkey, why not do it all? Yeah, I might too. Could end up buying into an expensive market, but might save you in the long run. Yeah, I don't know what I don't think any of us know. Obviously, the more people that come in, the more expensive things get because demand will outgrow supply. And yeah, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know how many players they want to keep adding to the platform, meaning MFL players. And really this is where it becomes a very tough balancing act. And Sorare went through this exact same thing of when you have a massive spike in users, how much of the demand do you try to meet on your own? Like, do we get pack drops now every week? I don't think so. And I think a lot of users would actually say, please don't do that. But those are probably the existing users and some of which, check the value of their accounts. But new users want to be able to play. And the next, I don't think it's big enough where this matters yet. But I'll make this prediction right now that at some point there's going to be a new user frustration that there's a cabal of bigger agencies that have all of these players and just scoop everything up and then make all the money by flipping them or loaning them out and winning all this MFL, and it just keeps spiraling. And that being able to have that be part of a healthy ecosystem is really important, while not making it so that new users come in and just feel like they're getting robbed right away. Palmer said existing users are faced with retiring, bad progression, need to upgrade due to promotion. Unless people want to sell out, I don't think anyone wants fewer cards and the prices to skyrocket. Yeah. Yeah. Josh says it's why I'm happy to buy slightly older or old season mints. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. And the fact that we don't know, sorry, hold on. There is a slight wrinkle on the ages too. If they were minted last year, they will have on average 2 more years before they retire than players minted this year. If they were minted last year, they will have on average 2 more years before they retire than players minted this year. Why is that right? But the fact that you don't know when players retire, I think, is a gigantic element of the fun. And I mentioned this to somebody recently, that the unknowns of MFL can be very negative to some people, and it's a reason they don't like playing. And it's such a gigantic reason why I love it. And that's just a mentality thing of, I think if you focus more on money, you want things to be as known as possible because that means they're in your control. And if things don't, if it doesn't succeed, it's because of something you did. But the unknown is like that's the fun part of this game, where you could try to find the optimal training and XP growth path for all of your players. And sometimes they just don't progress. And I would almost argue that's more realistic. Like there are plenty of professional football clubs that bring kids in from their academy, or they sign them from other academies, and they put all these resources into making them stronger and faster and better. And then sometimes they're just not any good. Sometimes they just don't turn out to be good. And that's kind of just what happens. Josh said they changed the average retirement age to be slightly earlier at the beginning of season 4. So instead of 37 being the average, it's now 35. Same with the average mint age being made slightly older. Okay. That makes sense. I mean, that pretty much just, if that shortens the lifespan of cards ever so slightly, then more cards will have to be produced. And that makes sense. The problem is that we're all going to need them. It's not like they're, a shortening time span of cards, of players, and a rush of new users still doesn't help match the supply and demand, but we'll see. Unknown retirement and unknown potential is such a good decision. It feels like it was a decision based on fun. And that's fun to me. Toby said it means the fresh players born this season will reach their peak sooner. That's true. That's true. It's another way to look at it. Yeah. Was there anything else I wanted to touch on today? We did the pack drop. Got my redemption cup coming up. I have a couple offers. Who did I even? Oh, I'm getting offers for the guys wow, look at you guys getting out to me already. Trying to get my guys. How dare you? Haven't even posted them yet. $1 players gone is the NEP effect. Are there really none? Is that right? There are no more? Let's see. Did he ruin it for everybody? I say that as if he's the only one buying $1 players. Oh, there are plenty. Look at that. 26-year-old. Oh my gosh, 31. That's the first time I've seen this, an actual retiring player coming. Yeah, I think you could make the reasonable argument that those days are over. And it happens. It's just a warning to everybody who's been here for a long time that the game that you have known until the last week is going to be very different than the game that you play moving forward. And maybe I say that maybe there won't be that much of a change for the higher divisions because the new users aren't there. We're all in either Ice or Spark. And maybe that's where the biggest difference will be. Well, not difference. Obviously, the entire Spark division is brand new. So it'll be a bunch of new people who are very excited, trying to compete against each other. And then, if there are a couple deadish clubs in Ice, they'll come down after season 5. And, maybe things will even out at that point. But eventually we're going to move our way up. And the bottom's just not going to be there anymore. The fact there are only 5 players listed at $1 left is wild to me. Used to have so many players for $1 on the market. It is kind of crazy. Josh said the higher number of new players will also generate more MFL, so there will be more bought from the store, but we're also getting the first batch of dev jail players released, so it should be okay. Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's all I got today. Yeah, that's all I got. When is my next match? Tomorrow. Oh man, tomorrow, right when I was going to do my Sorare stream. See, this is where we start getting to be like, which one should we do? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thank you to everybody for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. I will say, I forgot to mention this before, but I was trying to start this MFL. Oh, it's actually on here. Hold on a second. Huh. Okay. So I was having some issues um, with my streaming service that I use, but it looks like it is live on this channel. So if you want to go over, I'm going to try to do everything on the regular MFL with Laird um, channel here. So if you guys could go over here, subscribe to this channel. It's literally just youtube.com/@MFL with Laird. And I'm going to try to do all here because my other channel is mostly So Rare stuff. And while there are plenty of people who do both, I think those who just want MFL deserve their own space. And so here it is. And so, yeah, if you could go over here and subscribe, it's not, yeah, just go over there and subscribe. It would be very helpful for me. And that's where you can get some more stuff. I'm going to be doing a lot of MFL content coming up, and because I'm super excited about it. And it's fun. And oh, Pranksy's here, or Jono, whoever. Hello. They're obviously doing a bunch as well. And so, yeah, just go over here, MFL with Laird, check that channel out. And if you want to support even further, patreon.com/Andrew M. Laird, just to make sure we get as much MFL out there. Thank you to everybody for coming. Enjoy your day, and remember to get outside.